So we're going to be going over the page types in delivery 2. Malin has notes, documentation all together. So I'm going to hand it over to her and to Jesse and Meg. We're going to walk you through these page types. And I will send all this over by the end of the day. And we'll try to flag, things that we're still tweaking or polishing. I know there's been a few tickets that you guys have put in as you're in the system. We still have some front-end things we want to polish off. But for the most part, I think we're all set. So I'm going to hand it over to these guys and we can get started.
All right, cool. Let me share my screen here. All right, are you guys seeing this?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And can you see my Word doc if I toggle back and forth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna be doing kind of the same format as last time, where I'm just gonna be toggling back and forth between my training doc here and then what we actually have here in Sitecore. So the first one is gonna be the homepage. So here's just a quick overview screenshot of what it looks like with all the components. So we got the homepage hero on top, the main topics promo underneath that, tabbed information, and then we've got the full width image with content box, and then lastly, the related news promo. So we'll just go through each one, a little more detail. Homepage hero is pretty straightforward. It's just the hero image and then the hero title. You do have options for adding a video, either MP4 or there's another format. Let's see. Either MP4 or the WebM link. So you would either just paste the link in here, like just the absolute link, or you should be able to insert whatever MP4 videos you have in the media library. You should be able to insert that using the insert link here. And then of course, that's for the hero image.
It's a WebM link.
Yep, either MP4 or the WebM.
Now, what is a WebM link? Sorry, I don't know what that is.
Oh, I think it's just a different video format link.
I never heard of it either.
I'm not sure if, yeah. I don't know if that was.
We don't have it set up to do YouTube though, if we want to. We don't have it.
Oh,
I think we talked about YouTube and that what might show all the controls and then teasers and thumbnails in the hero area, which we definitely didn't want to see.
I believe the MP4 link and the WebM link, it depends on the browser compatibility. Ali, I think you had a comment when we were integrating this and requested both options. But yeah,
right,
YouTube,
we did.
YouTube's definitely not pretty.
Yeah, I think it's fine. And this is not something that's going to change often. So as long as we can get it up there. I was just curious because I personally didn't know what a WebM link was. That, no big deal.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's it for the hero. So the next one is the main topics promo. So that's these 4 images that displays underneath the hero. It's just an image field and then title and link. So you've got 4 of them. And they are so you can either have them here, or let's see. You can either point to them in the presentation details, so main topics promo. And it's located here in the auxiliary folder, and I have all these listed in the training doc. But it's just the main topics promo item, or promo folder item, I should say. So let me just go to that so you can see all the fields. And it's just those 4 image, so 4 sets of the link, image, and then title and link. Or I'm sorry, just the title, link, and image. So that's all there is really to that one. It's pretty straightforward, I think. The next piece is the tabbed information. And I did include, so in each little component here, I've got the JIRA component link, so you guys can reference that. And then I included just known issues at just today, the time of training. So there's a minor issue on that one, just with a hover issue there. So if you want to take a look at those, you can follow the fix on that. But to set that up, so this is what it looks like. We've got the tabs on the top, and then in each tab you have the headline, the tab text, and then the link text and the link for that. And then also the tab 1, or the tab image. So all of these are going to be numbered, 1 through 6, and they all have the same fields. So you'll set up each tab item, and then there's going to be another item to pull in those. So let me just drill into that. So in the auxiliary folder, it's going to be actually, no, this is not the call out. That's going to be on the section landing. So this is actually on the homepage itself. And it is right here. So tabbed information. Oops. So we've got the tab 1 title. So that is right here. So the actual tab title, obviously. So that's what displays there. And then the tab 1 headline is this text right here. And then tab 1 text, and then the link text and the link. That's these fields here. And then the image to the right is just an image selector field. And then it's just those same fields all through. I think you've got up to, let's see, how many? 4, 5. There's up to 6 of those that you can enter. And then I've got 6 right here, so you can see what that looks like. And all of these are optional. If you didn't want to have an image, that's what it would look like.
You were also almost showing us that that's also available as an independent component to put on pages, correct?
I started to say that, and I'm sorry, I said that wrong. There is another component that looks pretty similar to this, and that's going to be on the section landing. And then that is what is in the auxiliary folder. So this for the home page is on the page type, and it's only on the page type. It's slightly different. The section landing has like a blue call out.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's it for this one. Any other questions on that? Nope. Okay. All right, so the next component is the full width image with content box. So this one is really straightforward. You just have the full width image here. And then this little box is, you've got the full width image title, the text, and then the link text and link. So that let's see, this one is actually in the presentation details. So full width image. Oh, I guess this one is both. So you could either have it in the auxiliary folder and point to it, or it's here. If I can find it. There it is at the top. Okay, so we've got the image, the title. This is for the little box. So that's this here. So we've got the title text, the text, and then the link and the text for that. And then there's also a little checkbox here where you can choose to either align this content box to the right or the left. So I think on default it's unchecked, so it'll be on the right side. But if you did want to move it, you would just check this little box. So that's pretty straightforward, I think. And then the last one is the related news promo. So I know we talked about this with deliverable 1, but there has been a couple updates to that. So basically, I mean, the display and everything is the same. It's just how they actually get on the page. So you can either just point to it like you did before and just point to it in the auxiliary folder, or you can use taxonomy tags. And it's a little complex, I think, make sure I'm saying it right. So it's, let me think. So you can either, I think on a home page, you would just pull in any news items. They are not restricted based on centers or labs or anything. So if you did not point to it in the presentation details, oops. So if you don't have anything selected here, then it will look at what you have selected in your taxonomy tags. So let me, so currently I don't have anything tagged here, but let me show you, I had another example. So the related news is also on the section landing. So I just want to make sure I show you the updates now on this one. So here, I'm not pointing to, I don't have it pointed to the data source, and I do have a taxonomy tag selected here. So let me just show you that. So I've got a couple tags in here, and then any news item that also has either of these tags will automatically be showing up. So these items must have either of those tags. And then the only difference is on the research and I think it's center landing and lab pages, I believe. Those have to have the center and lab taxonomy tag so that they are all related to the center or lab that you're seeing the news promo on.
Research areas as well.
The research area as well, yes. Does that make sense? I know that's kind of complicated, but I hope that makes sense. We can go over that in more detail if I need to.
It's all written out in the documentation though, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. That's what I need.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Okay. Cool. So that is it for the home page. Any questions about any of these components at all? Nope. Okay. All right, so the next one is section landing. So this page is built up of quite a few components here. So the first one is section landing hero. And then underneath that, we've got body copy. Underneath that is image carousel block. I know we talked about this in the deliverable 1 training, so I'm not going to talk about this one again. Here's the tabbed information with the call out box. Here's with that blue box there. Generic promo, I'm not going to talk about this one again. There is documentation further up on this, so I didn't reiterate it again. But and then logo carousel underneath that. People promo with filters. There's a couple updates, so we will talk about that one again. And then related news and simple CTA. We just touched on related news, and simple CTA we went over in the last training session. So let me just, yep, and yeah, that's everything. So the first component, section landing hero, is pretty straightforward. Like the homepage, it's just hero image and then hero title and then the hero text. So let me show you that. So here are those fields. It's just a text box for the title, and then rich text editor for the hero text, and then hero image. So this one is just an image. There's no options for a video here. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. So the next one, the tabbed information with call out box. So this is the one that points to the auxiliary folder. There are a couple minor issues here. I think this one's actually resolved. Just some spacing issues, it looks like. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of fields on this one. I'll just show you in Sitecore. I think that'll make more sense. So down in the auxiliary folder. So with this component, you're going to be looking at 2 different folders here. So the first one is the call out items. So these are going to be each individual tab. And then the call out folder is where you'll actually select those tabs. And then that's what you're going to point to in your presentation details. So we'll look at the items first.
I just have a quick question. I assume this is
Yeah.
how you guys set up the folders. Like for publication, for related publications, you know, we can either pull them onto the page or make, if we had a publications page, we've been making the component, but I have those all in the same folder. Like we have the individual ones in the same folder and the component in the same folder. Like here, you just have them separately. I assume you just did this to be more organized. Like you have the individual items and then you have the component in its own folder.
You mean if I put the component here or the item here?
Yeah, like if you look in the publication, it's probably just, like I said, it's probably just for organization. We probably should change the organization with these. But you see how the second one says 3D publications? That's a component. Where the other,
Yeah, right.
but maybe I should just, maybe we just need to make another folder for publications, and that would make things, that way they'd all be the same.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But yeah.
I mean, we could take a note of that. I don't know if Meg or Jesse, if there's an issue with combining it and making it similar to this one.
I actually think it's the opposite. I think if we make the publications more similar to the other ones are, I
You
think
can
it's
restructure that. It's not gonna break anything.
okay.
That's
do
fine.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, in each tabbed item, I'll just go through each of the fields here. So again, there's a lot here. So first you've got the tabbed information title. And let me just, okay. hold on, I'll have to repoint that. So we got the title at the very top, and then this is the individual tab title. And then there's the tab headline. And then there's two sections. So you've got section A and then section B. So in each of those sections, you've got a headline, a super title, description, and link. And it's the same for tab promo B. So headline, super title, description text, and then link. And let me show you those. Hold on. Pointing to the wrong test item that I want to be looking at here. I want you to be able to see all of them here. So this would be pointing to the tabbed information call out, not the item, for the full tab list. It's being a little bit slow, so let me just show you in the screenshot here. If you can look past all the arrows and boxes and stuff. So here, this section is for tab promo A. So you see the super title, that's this blue text here. And then the headline, that's this bold text underneath that. And then the description text, and then the link. So there's two sections there. And then for the call out, you've got two sections as well. So you're going to select tab contact A and then tab contact B. And that's going to be available on every single tab. So you can select different options for each tab. I guess I need to reconfigure this, but let me just go through each. Let me just show you the, so the contact field is a selector, and it's only, you can only select one research profile here. And then here's where the tab contact A text is. It's just a text field or text box field. And then here's the link. And then same thing for contact B. It's just a selector field to select the research profile. And then the text and then the link. And then there's also a CTA at the bottom of each tab. That'll display right there.
Can you show us the super title, like where that's defined?
Yes. Yep. So the super title. So that's going to be, it's another selector, just like the contact. So these will be just any taxonomy term here.
Okay.
And then, so you'll do that for 2 to 6. So you can set up to 6 of these. And then once you're done setting those up, you'll go over to the contact or to the tabbed information with callout item. And then this is the selector field where you'll pull in whichever tabs you want to have displayed there. So let me show you, I was pointing to, I think, 2. So just want to show you a better example. So here's the tabbed information with call out. And then I'm going to point to this first one. Ugh, it keeps jumping around on me. I don't know why Sitecore is doing that. But anyway, so here's where you can see a better example. This was one of the minor issues that we are seeing. You see the arrow is way below this, the contact name. We've got to take it out to fix that. And then just another point about these contacts. So whichever profile you're pulling in, it's going to pull this information below is coming from the research profile item that you're pulling in. So these, and we'll go over these fields in more detail, but these are obviously the display titles, and then the email and phone number for this person. And then
Can you also link to just a plain old person card? So, you know, maybe not a researcher, but I might be lab staff who is in charge of contacts for a particular tool or patented item. Is that an option?
right, so you mean somebody in the provider list?
No, it's a person card or
Person.
I think those are in the auxiliary section somewhere.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I forget.
people profile or something like that. You'll know it as soon as you see it because it's
Yeah, we should make sure that
the
that
second last one.
Oh, one of these?
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah, it looks like, I'm not sure what it's gonna pull though. That's, let's see.
And you potentially could have picked one that has no content on it, so that's not going to give you your answer. We're gonna have
Oh,
to-
I did. Oh,
I mean, I don't know. We have so many of them, and a lot of them don't have very much content. So all I'm saying
oh,
so it doesn't mean that it's not doing what it's supposed to.
okay. Let's just see. Let's see what happens here.
I do know we had discussion about adding fields into that card specifically for this reason that, you know, it will certainly be lab or administrative staff or, you know, somebody else other than a full-on researcher who might be the contact. So I think we had talked about if it wasn't in the person card already to add fields for phone. I don't think it was specifically, possibly email, and can't remember what the third one was.
But that's good. It shows their display titles, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we added phone and email to person, so that should pull in as well.
It does pull in. I know I had it set for this one. So there's email and phone. I guess I'm not sure if it's on this actual person.
I'm sure it's not.
Yeah, it's okay. Just, you know, I don't want to derail you entirely. I
No,
just-
that's okay.
It was considered included.
Well, now I'm curious. Okay, yeah, so it looks like there is phone and email. I guess I'd have to populate those to see, but they do pull in from the other person item, so I would assume that this one would too, but I can double check that.
And we also need to, I mean, this is for Jesse or Ali, but you put the phone number in the middle of two fields to go together. The section title and the section text, you have a phone number, so we just need to move the fields around. But I
Okay.
can tell you
Yeah.
later.
Okay, so yes, so that's the contact field. And then you can see a little bit better. Here's the the super title, that's the being pulled in from taxonomy.
And does that link? Or no, it's just blue like it is on the like news items and stuff like that. Oh, it does like that.
Yes, looks like it does. Mhm. Yep, and then not sure. Yep, I think that's everything for this component. Are there any other questions we can go over?
No, but just a comment to everybody that, boy, we better use this tab component.
We have to get content first, remember?
I know, but I'm like, man, if we don't use this component, it's just like so much going into it.
Yeah, yep. It looks good though. It's, yeah.
Yes.
All right. So the next thing is, okay, and these are just all the fields to the tabbed component. There's a lot of them. And then this is explaining how to pull those tabbed items in. Okay, the next one is the logo carousel. So this is, we got just the title on top here, the logo carousel text, and then the actual logos. So this is on the section landing page. There are a lot, so there's up to 20 logos that you can add. So for each of those, you've got the image and the link. So as you're scrolling down, I mean, it's definitely a lot of stuff there, but yeah, so you can add, yeah, up to 20, which let me just show you how that looks. And I did add all 20 just to see what it would look like, but yep. And then here's the text and then the title on top. And then I do have a minor ticket to fix the spacing here. And then this one, you can also, so you have it on the page type itself, or if you wanted to point to it in the auxiliary folder, you can do that as well.
And does it, it only changes, it's manually, you change it manually, it doesn't change by itself. Like to go to the next image, next.
Oh, yeah, yes, you would have to manually, you can either slide on here.
No, that's good, because then if they want to click on that, that's why I wasn't sure. Okay.
Or the arrows, yep. Yep, okay, so that's logo carousel. And then the next one, we've got the people promo. So the small updates on the people promo is we did add these filters. So this is kind of similar to what the listing page looks like. So all the options here, you've got research area, taxonomy tags here, research center, the lab, and then also the role. The other thing, so to display the filter, it's there's a checkbox on the actual people promo. So let me show you.
I don't think that one's supposed to have 4 filters on it. I just peeked at the final design and it's only supposed to have 2.
Okay, is it?
Research area. Hold on. Oh. Research area and research center.
Okay, so we need to remove lab and role. Okay, I'll make a note of that.
Also, it's supposed to be 4 across. Looks like it's inside of a content well or something, but not 3. Most of the all the people promos are 4 cards.
Oh, these this test item just, I think it only has 3 in there.
Oh, okay.
So Alicia, I noticed Megan, when she did the visual QA today, she was asking to have the cards wider so that we wouldn't have the problem with the display titles. So I'm wondering if we'll end up only having 3, depending on how wide it gets. Just to see. I mean, I just, she happened to, I saw that in the ticket today, so, but whatever, it's irrelevant to this, sorry.
I'll go look at that one. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so this one currently does that just because there's only 3 in this little test item. And then just to show you the new check boxes, there's the show filters and then the auto populate. So that would be if I didn't have anything selected here, it would pull in the providers based on taxonomy tags, depending on what the tags were for my section landing page, and then the tags for each provider profile.
That's cool.
Can we add help text to that? Help text, that'd be great.
Help text to these checkboxes?
Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
Okay, yeah, I can make a note of that. Okay. Let's see, I think that was all about the section landing. Any questions about any of those components? No? Okay. All right, so the next group of pages is the listing pages. So these include the people listing, research listing, lab listing, and then the news and events listing pages. So they're all pretty similar. They're all the same page template, but just there's a couple different settings to determine what actually displays on each page. There's a couple known small issues here. I can touch on those as we are previewing the pages, but let's see. So I included screenshots of what each thing will look like. So they're basically the same. They have like pretty similar filters on top, and then the results are going to be slightly different. So the people will look like this. Obviously, they're just pulling in the person card. Looks pretty similar to the people promo. And then just here's a close-up of what that will look like. So each card will have a profile image, and then it's pulling in the first name, last name, and credentials on the front side. And then on the back, it's the research centers on the top here, and then a research lab. So these are getting pulled in from selector fields, and then this is from a taxonomy tag.
So we're not displaying their titles? Their display title?
I don't believe so on here. Should they be?
I'll have to look at the designs. I mean, they are on everywhere else on the site, but I'll
Right.
look at the design.
I don't. Yeah, so like this here, you
Yeah.
mean? Right. Yeah, I don't believe.
I think we changed. So this is one of the challenges of having the text specs because it's so fragmented. So I do know that when we were discussing the functional requirements in that component spreadsheet, I put information in there saying, okay, well, this is what the design is showing, but this is what CNRI decided we want on the front of the page, on the front of the card, I'm sorry, and on the back of the card. So those were spec'd out that it was name, and whatever, of course, I can't remember, but there, I'll find it. But I think that's what I think the people promo shows it correctly currently. So that should carry over to this.
Okay, noted. Okay, yep, we can fix that.
I'm not sure why there's all that space before her name. Like, see how much
Up
more-
here, you mean?
Something's aligned funny.
Yeah, that could. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I know we have a couple like HTML, CSS tickets still floating around out there. I can
Okay.
double check and see if that's noted in there if we need to create a new one.
Thank you.
Mhm. Yep, so not all of these are populated. Let's see, what was my,
So can I say something else? Sorry.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, go for it.
The back of the card is, on this particular example, is working correctly. Like it says either view profile or back to front. But I'm pretty sure the other people promo that you showed us, it had the black X. Yeah, see, that one's wrong. I'm
Mhm,
not really sure why they're different. I mean,
right,
it should be like that one is.
okay, so we'll match the back of this one.
There is a ticket for that one. That one's been open for a while.
Okay, yep, note that one. And so these will be blank unless they are actually populated on the front end. Or in the insight core, sorry. So these, let's see where. Where my test items are, but this is what it will look like. So the research centers and then the research lab. Let me just show you.
And the lab in your, whatever you just showed us wasn't blue, but I assume it should be a link.
That's a, yeah, well, it's not right now. The design didn't have it as a link, and the spec also didn't have that as a clickable link, but I kind of figured you guys were gonna ask for that to be a link. We can do that. It's just a Fed update,
Okay.
Also, I
and a
think I
slight
asked
Fed update.
Meg, because I think on F3, it just says lab and then it says Bollard or Abraham. The word lab isn't after that. So I'm assuming we have to go through and rename all the taxonomy terms so that it's actually Bollard lab or Abraham lab instead of just the one name. And I go ahead and do that because I was worried about breaking your RSS import and all
Yep.
that. Yeah.
That would be the only thing that would break, is it wouldn't auto tag the labs anymore unless the WordPress feed was updated. So when she tags the lab, she adds the word lab behind the lab name.
What if we do the opposite? What if Jesse pulls in the short title?
I thought we made that change already, or was that just for Research Center?
I think you just did it for the centers, but it probably
Okay.
makes sense to do it. I don't want
That could
to
work.
make words on, so I was very nervous.
Yeah, so that way should work though, right? Because I'm asking you to do something else, Jesse. But if you, once you get the lab, the lab associated with the taxonomy, then the short title, it should be what we want to show.
Yeah, that's no problem. I'll double check that during
it's
this
just
meeting just to see
exactly-
if that might already be done, but I'll double check.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. I think that's all I had for the people listing. Let's see. And then let me just go touch back up here is where I explain how to set up each listing page. So there will be a listing configuration field, listing type dropdown. So here's where you'll specify whether it's lab, news and events, people, and research areas. And then here is like the items that it will actually pull in. So people will pull in person, provider profile, or research profile. Lab is research lab landing pages. And then news and events are any external newsroom detail and article pages. And then research page is it's the research detail page that shows up under the research areas.
Yeah, that has a new template name.
Yeah,
I can
right.
get that up. I think it's research area detail page is the name of it.
Right. Yes, that was the new update. Yep. So, and yeah, research listing, that's the next one that we'll talk about. So again, it's the same listing filters, and then the research listing results displays underneath there. And then this example also has the featured posts on top. And I'll show you how to set those up. So here's my research listing page example. So again, I've got research areas selected here. Oops. And then you'll see it's pulling in. This is, I have this set up. Also, let me touch on this field. This is listing search locations field. So this can actually drill down to a certain area in the content tree that you want it to pull in from. So here I've got selected this research item under Center for Cancer and Immunology Research. So that is going to pull in all the research items listed here instead of pulling in every single research item field or item. And then, so this is just going to display the teaser image and then the short title. Another note is you can change the number of results on each page. So this one only has 10, but for ones that have more results, you could update the number of results on the page. So if you wanted it to be 18 or whatever, it's going to be 3 across and then however many you have specified.
So that root item thing is very cool. But just from the field, like, can you select multiple or is it just one?
You can
You
select
should-
multiple.
You can.
But just keep in mind what, it is an index-based search, but if you had too many root folders, just keep in mind how many branches you're iterating through. That's all.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, so and then just the other fields on this page, you've got the labels for each filter. And then you can also specify each of the filter options that display in the dropdown. So you can either just leave them blank and every single tag for each section will be pulled in, or you can specify which ones you want. So in this case, so here I only have one of these. But if I were to remove them, let's see, in one of my other examples, I think. I'll just clear this one. Let's see, that was 2. And there we go. So that's all the research centers that we have. I did specify in the training doc which label goes to which center or which taxonomy tag. So that's all. I've got that straightened out. I think at the bottom here. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So listing 1 is for research area, and it's going to point to these items or this taxonomy folder on default. The second one is the label for the center, and then that's pointing to all of the taxonomy centers, and then lab and role. I think, and then so that was also the fourth label is for the role. It's pretty specific to the people listing. That is an optional. If you don't want that to be displayed, you can just leave that unchecked. So just yep. So okay. The next listing type, well, let's just look at the people. Or no, we already looked at people. Let's look at lab.
Malin, just want to flag for you while this loads. We have about 7 minutes left on our meeting hold, but if everybody's okay staying on a little bit longer, we can keep this line open and so we get through everything.
Yeah, okay. Shoot, yeah, so we've got a couple more. Let me just touch on the labs really quick. It's pretty much set up all the same. It's just what displays is a little bit different. So here's I believe it's the short title. I have it specified in the training doc. So we got the teaser image. Yes, it's the short title and then the research center. So that's what will be displayed for each one of those. And then let me just touch really quickly on news and events. Again, it's pretty much set up the same. And then this is what each card will look like. So we've got the image from the news item. And then this is the content type. This is all pulling in from the news item. Pretty similar to what related news looks like. It's pulling in just all the same fields there. And then for news, you specifically, you do want to make sure that you have that listing search location populated to whichever news items you want to have pulled in. So here I've got every single, just the entire folder. And then, so that's just going to pull in just, yeah, so there's 1,200 items there. So that's what this will look like. And then just really quickly, the featured post, the one that shows up on top, you can either have one big post or you can have 3 of them displaying. Those are going to be living in the auxiliary folder and you'll point to it here. Let me just show you. Listing featured posts. So if you just want to have just the one main item, you'll only select obviously just one to be displayed there. And if you want to have the 3 set up, like this is 1, and then the 3 would have this main item here, and then there would be 2 stacking over here on the right side. And I think, so there's a couple issues, again, like we noted, with the listing pages. You can take a look at those. I know we kind of breezed through the rest of these, but I think that's everything for listing pages. Are there any other questions or anything I can go into more detail?
We still had an outstanding question for, Meg was going to make an example of how we use a listing page, but maybe this got revisited and we decided not to do this. Using a listing page under the under the centers where it says our labs. I think we were talking about putting a listing page there as our labs, but did we decide not to do that?
Yeah, I think that's when we ultimately resulted. So it was supposed to be an example for research areas under the centers.
That's right.
And then we ended up just changing the template for the research areas so that way they could stay as they were.
Okay, cool.
So what do you want us, so, okay, so for the research areas, then we can just leave them the way they are, like you said,
Mhm.
since we just have links on the main page. But for,
Just use the new template though, if you have to create any more.
okay, but you switched the ones that were there.
Mhm.
Okay, and what about the lab pages? Like I have a lab page, it's a detail page, but then some people have listing pages under there. If you go under a center, Malin, sorry,
Oh,
the centers,
Right.
and then look at where it says, yeah, that, like, well, that, oh yeah, right, we had to make redirects. I'm so confused. We've done this so many different ways.
I think the labs listing is okay because one, the labs are located underneath the lab listing. And two, the labs actually have a lab landing page template, whereas the research area is problematic because the research areas were using a detail page and we were using detail pages all over the site in various ways. So now we've gotten a little more granular. So I don't think those should be.
But like if you're, I mean, I can play with this later, but I don't know why we have that as a redirect, the parent.
Because all the
Like-
labs live underneath the labs.
Yeah, the parent one could be a detail page if you wanted it to have content to it.
Or it could be also be a listing page if we wanted.
I think that would work if we put it as a listing page.
I'll play with it and see.
Yeah, I have to double check. This might be more of Jesse's wheelhouse on the listing pages if
was
they
just thinking
create
someone
a
could,
listing
like,
page under a center that is,
Yeah.
is there a way to like pre-pass in filters?
Let me see that you might be able to do that. Because for labs, we're only checking template. We're not checking any specific like branch of the tree.
So Malin, can you go to F3 to the front end for a second?
I'm sorry, which one?
To the front end of F3,
Oh, yeah.
and then just pick one of the centers from the top menu.
So this is news. I can look at.
No, just go up to the main global menu and go to a center.
Oh, right. Yes.
Okay, so now if you click on, well, that's yours, right? Is that which one?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Let me.
Pick
Yeah.
one of ours so I can see. how we-
Yeah. Sorry. Oops.
You're the only one I know who uses preview.
That's what I said. I've never taught anyone how to use it because when I first got here, it didn't work.
I mean,
right.
it's
Oh,
Okay.
really? Oh,
Those
it's like.
It looked really weird. I just
hangs
forget.
up.
So they
Oh,
just go to CMS all the time now.
I just live in.
Which
There
is a
we go.
pain on here because you got to publish it. There's no CMS to look at it first. So if you scroll down now and you go to our labs, but you click on our labs, you don't pull down on it.
Go to the section navigation at the top of the page. The section.
Oh, here. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and just click on, but don't click on the lab.
Just click on our labs, the word our labs, the word up at the top. There we go.
There you go.
Okay. So you already did it, or did that just redirect? That was a redirect.
I don't remember which, so let's go back into.
It looks like it's a redirect to
That's
the
a redirect,
listing
yeah.
page. Yeah.
All right, I just wanted to make sure it was doing something that made sense, which it seems to be. So that's
Well, we certainly should check that all the centers have the same experience there.
right. Right, I'll do that.
Okay. I think there was one other thing about how we are going to update the profiles, the research profiles, as far as adding associated centers, adding the taxonomy to them so that the people listing actually works, and where best to do that.
Yeah, Melon, do you want to take that one, or should I?
Just like, do you want to share? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not prepared to share, but I just mean, so if you're on a research, maybe if you just open a research profile, do you have like an example one?
Yeah, let me.
So the way I do it is I would just do like all the research centers to start, because that's an actual field on the template itself. So yeah, there's a research centers field. If you're on like a provider profile or a person, the field's called something slightly different, but it should grab the center regardless. So fill that in, and that should get it showing on the people card, person card on the people listing page. So yeah, it'll grab the first one, or no, it'll show multiple. That's right. I forget if it takes like 2 or 3 or something, but so then from there you can do the taxonomy terms. So for each profile, you'd go through and tag areas and labs.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does. I think the thing was the timing of it, because I think I went
Mhm.
actually did it once prior to the labs being invited to review their content. I went through and tagged them up with their centers so that the back of the cards wouldn't be completely blank. Then I think you did your script, which then blew away all of that. And then we talked about the fact that we had asked about one final sync of research profiles from production back into F3. And what's that going to do if I'm adding content into F3? You know what I mean? So I didn't want to go through
Right.
completely, an exercise multiple times and then get it blown away each time.
Yeah. Well, how about we do a backup? We can take a package and serialize that branch. So I would just, are you going to be updating? It will, provider profiles won't matter because we're not changing that template. It's just the new research profiles. So if you want to do your updates now, we can take a package of it. So we'll have like a zip of those changes. And then we can also serialize them too. So it's like double redundancy. And then when we do the sync in April, I'll run the script again. We only care about new profiles, right? Or do we care about ones that have been updated? I think there are some questions. We do care about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went through, like, I started doing something the other day and I thought I didn't know whether to do an F3 or CMS, so I didn't do it anywhere. But another example, if someone asked us to change something on their research profile, so I told the content editor to change it on F3 and on CMS, because I want them to see it when they're reviewing their stuff on F3, but it needs to also be live on CMS. So it's a little
Okay.
I mean, we could do the content and updates. I mean, that associated center field does exist on the faculty bio, correct?
Yes.
In
So-
CMS?
on
Yeah.
CMS. So,
Okay.
I mean, would it be smarter to do that there? So in anticipation of,
Well, are the centers going to have the same ID? I don't think so, because these are all news center landing pages.
yeah, okay.
So it's up to you. I mean, ideally we would do the data entry after the last sync, but I don't think you guys want to have that crunch, it sounds like.
No, I mean, I could hold off. I mean, honestly, I think we're probably going to have some time where we're waiting for some more content from CNRI. So, I mean,
But
Yeah.
after we go live, he's saying.
No,
like-
after we
No,
do the
after-
Razzle sync in April.
Yeah, at the very end, like right before we go live.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think the last Razzle sync, and then it's immediately almost content freeze. Like,
Right,
If-
so that's when we don't want to have, that's what he's saying, we don't want to do those things right then. We don't want to sync it from CMS, then say we have to put all this stuff in.
Right. Well, I just thought that'd be a lot of work, but
Yeah.
it's really up to you guys. Well, I mean, I'll try to accommodate whatever strategy. Whenever you want to do the content entry for that, we'll do a backup after you guys are done. So at least, you know, when we're doing our PowerShell stuff, if something goes wrong with the script, we can like reset the state of the profiles again and handle it from there. It's only 2 fields, right? It's taxonomy terms and research centers. So we
mhm.
should be able to, with PowerShell, even if I have to like extract the data into like an Excel file and use like an Excel based field sync or something like that, we should be able to get the data in there correctly.
I mean, I don't want to make more work for you, so there's less work for us. I just want to come up with the most efficient way for everybody.
Yeah.
That's all I guess.
Yeah. How many research profiles are there? Are there hundreds or is it thousands?
No, it's
No.
even 100, I
It's-
don't.
Okay.
I think
Like 190.
Who said 190? Oh, Nate's on.
Nathan, yeah. The voice out of the darkness. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, another option, Meg. I don't know if this might be more work for us. Well, not really. If you guys could even just make an Excel sheet with what the data is, we can get it into Sitecore that way too. If you have like the IDs, a list of IDs for all the taxonomy tags or something, that might be more work. I'm not sure. There's just so many different ways we can do this. So.
Yeah.
If you kept just a list of who you updated, provided it's not all 190 of them, I can Razzle sync selective fields on those people.
Nathan,
Yeah.
you're keeping that, aren't you? That spreadsheet I made you? You're putting.
I'm
updates?
keeping track, yes, and all 190 will need to be updated because we have the research interest and areas we have a set list, and so that all those will need to be added to each of the research profiles. So
Is
they're all
that-
going to need to be updated.
Okay, is that all being added on S3 or is that being added on CMS right now?
That's being added on in CMS slowly
Okay.
by me.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm thinking if we could do, it's really up to you guys. I don't know if you just want us to kind of decide on something and say, let's do it this way, or
Well, I don't know. I think right now I'm inclined, if Nathan's in there working on the profiles on CMS, I'm inclined to also put the associated centers into the profiles on CMS. Just put them all in one area and then we'll do that final sync at the end of April and call it done. I mean,
except we'll have to reapply that to the new center pages though, because CMS doesn't have the new
oh, that's
centers.
right. Damn it.
So if maybe if I don't know if it's possible, but even if we could do the sync maybe a couple weeks earlier or a week earlier even, well, hopefully we have the time available to just help you get all this data synced up at that point.
Yeah, I can play with the timeline and look at what our options are to move that sync in April up a little bit. I think it would be overlapping them with the SME review of deliverable 2 work.
Well, it's really, we're trying to, Nathan's got a lot of going on and he's the one who's basically, he and FISA maybe are working on those profiles. So it was really to give him as much time as possible before that last sync. So that's why, we weren't looking to move the sync earlier. We were looking
Okay.
spot. So he
add
has as
on.
much time as he can to get these updates from the researchers who aren't always, forthcoming with their news.
How about this?
So-
How about Megan, Jesse? You guys just spend a little time when you're not like, on the spot, and see if you can come up with what you guys think would be the most efficient thing for everybody.
Mm.
And then, Nathan will still continue to do what he's doing on CMS, but then we can kind of figure out what to do from there. And then we'll figure out, we don't want to enter something that's going to get overwritten, but
Mhm.
let us know what you think will work
Yeah.
the best. Without you guys doing, I don't want you guys, like I said, I don't want you guys doing a bunch of extra work just so we don't have to. There
Because-
should be a,
Right now, the best I can come up with right now is, I think if you did the data entry now, we would have to kind of extract the data from those two fields. So I'd pull that into a spreadsheet. I'd have that all. I'd have each research profile is going to have the same ID as it does in CMS as it does on the F3 with the new profile. So if I can just get a list of all those IDs, so they're new research centers, and then I'd sort of like reapply that, because the order of operations is we're going to do the Razzle sync, have to blow up all the research profiles in F3 again, and then convert their templates again. And then what I do is apply that export that I did after you guys did data entry on to the what I just convert. Does that kind of make sense? And then I would just do it through like an Excel or a CSV import of some kind. That's the best I can come up with, I think.
Yeah, that seems like it'd be the solution with the least amount of risk, but let's regroup on it, Jesse, just to.
It is going to be a few
Regardless
hours of work, Audra,
Right.
but I think it's not going to be like tens of hours of work. It wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. Let me make a note. Let us regroup on that, guys, and we can get back to you with some options and what we feel is the most efficient solution to this.
Okay. Friday afternoon, so I'm running fumes of brain cells by now.
All right. Do we feel comfortable moving on from the listing pages, or were there any other questions there?
Yeah, let's move on.
Move on. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the last one is the research profile page, which we were just kind of talking about. So basically, this page is, you got the profile header, and then the accordion underneath that, and then the profile facts call out on the right. And then underneath, we've got the featured publications, which is being reused from the first delivery. So the profile header is just built up of the profile image, first name, last name, credentials, and then underneath that are the display titles. And then we've got this visit lab link, and then, or this profile link in text. And then this is a provider profile link. So let's just go into each of those. So firstly, you'll select the provider profile using this selector, and then that's going to pull in these display titles. You can either do it that way, or there are display title fields on the research profile item. So let me just show you that. So again, here is the provider profile selector. So that's where you'll pull in like the actual provider item. I'll just show you that really quick. It's a little bit slow, it seems like. Well, while that's waiting to pull or to display there, I'll just show you the rest of these. So that's what it'll look like there. So it's just it's opening on the find a provider node there, and you can select your provider from there. And then the first and last name and credentials fields, those are just simple text box fields. And then here's where you can see those display titles. So you can choose to display up to 5. It's just, each of them are just simple text box fields. Or you can use this checkbox at the bottom there. That's use provider profile display titles. And then that'll override anything that you have here. And that'll be pulled directly, obviously, from the provider profile item.
Wait, how come you're not pulling them, Jesse, from the research profile?
It is, the tech specs say if there is a provider profile attached or linked to that, kind of overrides, well, based on the
Look at that. I
checkbox.
guess I was asking why we would have to enter them manually. Like, to me,
Oh.
there's either coming from the research profile or we're overriding it with the provider profiles, but why do we need to enter them at all otherwise?
You wouldn't need to enter them here. Is it,
Okay.
am I understanding you correctly? Yeah, if you want to pull from the provider profile, just check that checkbox and then you don't have to enter in anything there.
But if I don't want to use the provider profile ones, isn't it going to just display what we already have in the research profile from before?
Yes. Well, whatever these fields are. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it should. We should have that data in there if it already
Okay,
exists.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I understand why I'm confused, because, okay, now I'm with you now. So yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah, so you're
we
saying, if,
shouldn't have to
yeah,
use that there.
if this is
So a lot of
being,
these will already be populated from the old profiles. It's all been migrated.
Yeah.
She's walking through creating a brand new profile.
yes, sorry for that confusion. Yes, we can make sure that those are being pulled in correctly, but yeah, I created, just a brand new one. So they should either be pulled in, or I guess if you wanted to re-enter new ones, I guess for whatever reason, you could do that here. Or yes, you use the checkbox like we were just saying. Yep, I think that's it for the header. Oh no, so there's these 2 links. So the provider profile link, that one is automatically displaying and it just redirects to the provider profile. And then this profile link in text, that is a new, let's see, where is that one? Here we go. So here's the actual link and then the text, and then there's a checkbox to display the external link icon. So that's it for the header.
About that, sorry. Why is Visit Lab not, if we have the person tagged to the lab, why isn't it just dynamically putting that up there and going to the lab? I'm missing something, sorry.
No, we had that conversation about that particular link just to make it something more flexible. So if someone doesn't have a lab specifically, you would be able to rename it, use it for other reasons, for other links.
Okay, so then we have to put a lab in every single provider, or only if we want it to be different than what
You have
it's
to put-
defaulting to?
Would have to put a lab link in there and write visit lab.
Okay.
Okay. So then underneath the header is well, on the right side, we've got the profile facts call out. And that is just everything that's displaying in the right rail here. So that's pulling in the first and last name, email, and phone at the top there. Underneath that is any research centers that are tagged. Then research interests, and then social media links. So let me touch on each of those. So again, here's just those text box fields for the name and the email and phone. And then for the research centers, that's going to be that tree list selector that we were talking about earlier. And that's where you'll pull in the center landing pages. So that'll be displayed here. And then research interests, that one is pulling in from a couple different fields. So you can manually enter in just name value list here. So over here would just be the actual text, and then you'd enter the link on the right here. Or you can just have just a plain text here. You don't have to have a link, but if you wanted to redirect it, that's how you would enter it. Or you can also use the provided link fields. So that's going to be these, whatever these are, these Google Scholar. So all of these, if any of these links are populated, they'll be displayed underneath the research interests that you've entered here. Let me just. So, and then underneath that is just the social media links, which is pretty straightforward. Just link and then the text, and then it'll pull in the icon for each of those. That's what the right rail looks like. Pretty straightforward, I think. And then the last part is the accordion. Let me just, so you can have any of these or all of them, whichever fields are populated here are what will be displayed. So the first one is the education. That one is just using a rich text editor. So whatever is displayed there is pretty, that's how that'll display. Same for the biography, rich text is using a rich text editor. The next one, the research, the academic appointment and then the research appointment, those are using these child items, the research appointment and academic appointment items. So those will go underneath the research profile items. And then each of those just has the first one, the academic appointment is just a title and a school name. And then the research appointment is, it'll have it's a drop-down field where you'll pull in center landing page, and then the title is just a text box field. So that's what those look like. There is a ticket out right now. Currently, it's automatically displaying any child items that are displayed. They will just automatically show up here. There is a selector field that's not currently being used. So I guess, so these right here, I have them being used, but they're actually not. So I guess that might be, there's a ticket, we might have to redirect that to you guys, whether you want it to be using the selector or if it's fine for them to just be automatically be pulling in. So we can touch base on that at another time, but just wanted to show you that that's where the selectors are, but yeah, we can touch base on if those are being pulled in incorrectly or if that needs to be adjusted at all. The next section is awards and funding, which is again just another rich text editor. And then the next one is videos. So videos, you have the first one will be a little bit larger, and then underneath will be stacking 2 by 2. If you have more than one, that is. So the videos are using this video selector field, and you'll just pull in just videos from the media library here. And then just the last field is a disclaimer. It's just a small text box field. And again, all of these are optional. If you don't have anything displayed here, just the accordion tab just won't display at all.
Can I ask you a question about the videos, Melon?
Yeah.
So if that part of the tree is open, then I assume that it can also be things like in our video gallery, right? Like we don't have any, I understand we're gonna have to start putting videos in the media library for the other part that we talked about earlier, since we're not putting a YouTube ID in. But we cannot, for this example, we can pull them from the video gallery, right? We're not,
Yes.
okay.
Well, yes, that's what I have pulled in here. Yeah.
Okay, so those will show up with all the YouTube stuff on them. Right, okay, that's fine. It's just different than the other way, so I want to make sure it was clear.
All right, well, that is the end of my training doc. So I believe that's all I have for you guys. Is there any other questions or anything else we can go over for you?
Just a question about the possible fact component I think we had raised the other day. Maybe that's more a question for Audra.
That is almost done. There are some Fed updates. I just didn't want to do the deployment right before the training. But we can add that to the training documentation. I don't know if you want to bring it up. I think I added it to your center landing test page.
Yes.
But something needs to get published, so it's only going to show up in preview right now. But under presentation, you'll see the rendering there, and you would add an FAQ data source. So the same data sources for FAQs that you currently use. There it is, right there. So I have it set to a random FAQ right now, but it's essentially what it'll look like. Again, there's a couple pending Fed updates there.
Okay,
But
cool.
And those can be on any page type, Jesse? Or
Yep.
like not on listing pages, but like I know we want to use them on detail pages.
You
So
could put it on a listing page too. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, you can put it.
I can't
wherever
see
you want.
that needing it, but I've said that a million times, now we end up needing it. But yeah, we wanted to do that on some of the detail pages. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I'll go through it and add the details for that as well.
Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
The FAQ data source is it's a couple folders up from this, so keep scrolling down. It's just like FAQs folder.
Here we go.
So, yep.
If you
Are
want
you
to,
still you were still using that, Lori, or not really, that FAQ folder?
a lot of the content editors do. It's not the way I do it since we changed it, but it's fine to be there. I make them as child items, and it probably doesn't matter what you're doing, Jesse, because it's just getting pulled in the presentation details. But for Malin, for the documentation, you can do it from the FAQs folder.
You guys can make a new folder too, as long as you're using the right templates.
No, I
if
think
you
this is good.
okay.
I'll make a child under a page sometimes when I make an FAQ list, but it's gonna be too confusing for the documentation, so do it that way. That's fine. And if you wanna, unless Alicia has something, and agree, I think you could probably do the deployment when we're done, since no one's in there right now anyway. And
Okay.
that out, so then when we do stuff later, whatever the latest fixes are, we'll be in there.
Sounds good. Yeah, I can get that ready.
I know we're a bit over time. I have to hop off to another call, but is there anything else that we can show you that you have questions on that we can take back and figure out for you guys based off of today's training?
No, I can't think of anything. Is the documentation, that URL, is that going to change again with this update, or is it still the same URL from before?
I was going to try, so this is just on my computer right now. I was just going to copy and paste it all to the end of the first document. So the link will be the same.
We can
Perfect.
send the link and then this recording over to you, so you have both for reference. And then we can follow up on some of those notes and those pieces that we need to polish up and, figure out for you guys.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay,
Thank you so
great.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
You
Goodbye.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.